Today we're starting right at the back of a 50-lap race here at Manchester Victoria to see if we can fight our way to the top spot of the podium, or will we get stuck behind traffic fighting for our lives. Let's head to the grid, keep our eyes on the lights, and it's lights out and away we go here at Manchester Victoria. And already it's absolutely carnage heading into this first corner here. We're trying to stick to this inside line so we can get past Lewis in the Joker helmet and a few others there, pulling us up into 11th, but Lewis still has that inside line, meaning we have to go around the outside here, but Zach on the outside gets stuck behind those drivers, allowing us to go alongside of him into this corner, making us do a lunge forward for 9th position there. We're checking over our shoulders here now, panicking that they're going to make a move, but we come into our first yellow flag of the session. Someone spins out just in front of us there, allowing us to keep our position there in 8th position. So after surviving that first lap there, we got our eyes locked on the lights to our left, and it goes back green, and we managed to get a bit of a jump on Lewis there, having to thread the needle between him and this car on the right. We're going to have to go around the outside of this corner, which is not what I want to do here, but we make the lunge. They make a little bit of contact with the driver in the middle, which pushes us to the wall there, meaning we lose the position to Zach and Lewis on the outside. We have to lunge again, go down the inside, meaning we've got back to 7th in front of Lewis and Zach, but I know they're going to be on my bumper as I'm stuck trying to get around this car here. I know if I can keep this inside line here, we can claim this corner as ours, and there goes another yellow flag, but luckily we managed to get the overtake done just before the yellows came out, which puts us now up into 4th, and I'm praying that there's a few cars between us, Lewis and Zach, and also Mako, who is also incredibly fast in this race. Trying to win this race is going to be no mean feat, so as soon as I go back to green, I'm checking over my shoulders, and luckily we managed to get away with that restart all fine and dandy. We're coming around the top here, it was bumping again as they stopped on the apex, which I'm looking at my shoulder here because I'm panicking that Lewis is there, and he is, and he goes to the overtake, doing what we did to Zach earlier, trying to claim the corner here, but sadly he just didn't have enough pace coming up to that corner. But I know coming into this bit he will be there, so I defended the line and then tried to catch up to these 3 drivers here, which we managed to do. We send it down the inside, keeping that inside line. We get 2 positions actually there on that corner, and there's now only 1 more person waiting to overtake, and that is first place, which we managed to start setting up the switchback here, but Lewis is following us through, and he manages to get a better switchback than me, and he's got the inside line, and he's claimed it, and he's now up into 2nd, putting us down into 3rd. So we're coming up to the top ramp here. I'm trying to take a slightly wider line to cut back across. I'm praying that he'll get stuck by this back marker here, but this battle goes on for a little bit, and I give Lewis a little bit of a love tap there, which pushes him through the corner, giving him enough pace to get past that driver there, and now it's all down to me and Lewis, down to battling for first place. Who will come out on top? Me, Lewis, and like I say, Zach and Mako are also in this race. With 44 laps still to go, anything can happen, and don't forget, there is also a pit stop that we have to complete in this race, which could be the deciding factor of who comes out on top. This battling between me and Lewis goes on and on and on, and it's just a constant game of how close can I stay to bumper and not tap him so I don't lose my speed. I try to stay as close as I can here, but sadly we're just matching each other's pace, and I'm just tabbing him through the corner, and there's no way I can get around him here, so I try and take a bit of a wider line to then come back across. So then as we come down the straight, I know I've got a slightly faster top end speed here, so I know I can get him potentially, but he's defending that right hand side of the track. There's no way on this Monaco-esque track that we're going to be able to get around Lewis when he's defending and sitting on the apexes like that. I can see I've got a bit of a run to this corner, so I try and send it as I'm alongside the cart there, and I just managed to claim the corner, which means I have got the inside line for this next one, but he will be setting up the switchback, so I have to try and sit on the apexes here to make sure he does not do it, and we claim back first position, and now we're out in front, and we can try and put in some laps to get ourselves away from Lewis and hopefully win this race. We've now caught back up to a back marker here, which is going to start causing us problems because Lewis is right on our tail, so we need to get past this back marker as fast as we can, and I'm just trying my best to see the best opportunity. And when we get to the straight here, they get a snap of oversteer, and we're able to pass them nice and easy. We get to another back marker here. I go to send it down the inside line, but then just closes it last minute, and they sit in the middle of the track, so the switchback will have to do on the final hairpin. But sadly, they claim the inside line. I'm panicking. Lewis was there on our right. He will have got an incredible run out of that final corner, which means he will be on my bumper at the top of this ramp. I know I need to get past this driver, and they are not making it easy for me. We're looking for every opportunity. There is Lewis just behind us. I'm hopefully going to take the inside line here on the first hairpin. We managed to do it, and we should be able to squeeze ourselves through now as we're alongside the car. They have to leave the room, and we managed to get past that back marker there, but not in a very clean fashion. And there is Lewis managing to get past the back marker nice and easy. So he's back now on our bump, and I believe it then goes the back marker, Zach, and then Mako. So lots of fast drivers are right behind us. We're coming up to another back marker here. I'm looking for which way to do. I'm going to try and do what we did before, take it a bit shallower on the apex there, but they sit on the apex. They don't go wide, so I can't do that. So I tap the back of their bumper quite a few times, which loses my exit speed there. And I have to apologize. I think it's to Lewis, who was just behind me there, as I ended up hitting the back of their car, which meant it ruined their exit speed too. We managed to get around them there, and Lewis tries to set up the switchback, and he's trying to claim that inside line, which he just managed to, and squeezes past that back marker there. We're now on lap 18, and it is just back marker city, trying to get through these as fast as we can, get ourselves away from Lewis, sending it down the inside there, and praying we can keep putting in laps and getting around these back markers cleanly, that we can get ourselves away from Lewis, away from Mako, away from Zach, and then potentially win this race. We've got quite a few back markers coming up here, but I know I've got a better exit speed coming down this main straight here. We're going to have to swing it around the outside here, which will give us the inside line for the next corner, as long as they don't put us in the wall, which they do. Don't leave the room. They did not, though, with that. I'm panicking. Luckily, Lewis did not manage to get past me, but he is sat on my bumper, so we need to get past this driver in red as fast as we can. I'm looking down the inside to make a lunge, but I'm just too far back. There's no way we can do it there, so the switchback again will have to do on his third hairpin, and Lewis thought the same thing. He takes the inside line. He's trying to claim it, but he's just not quite far alongside enough that I have to give him the room there, so I shut that door so he doesn't come through. I'm now up top here. I'm very close to these guys, and I know they're going to park it on the apex. I know I'm going to be tapping him, and Lewis knows this too, which allows him to take that inside line there and put himself back into first place. This is going to be a long one, guys, with another 29 laps to go, and we're still not managing to keep that first position. Now, with Lewis being in front, it was now his job to have to deal with the back markers, so I was just going to sit tight, sit pretty, and wait for my opportunity to make another pounce at Lewis. So I just sat behind him and let him have to deal with all these back markers here, having to deal with the issues that I've had for the last 15 laps of him catching constantly. I just need to keep applying the pressure, sit there and follow him through corners exactly like this, how he goes on the inside. I just need to follow him through, come back with him on the switchback, and he actually nearly gets taken out by that driver there. Gives him a little bit of a finger wag, but in the end they both managed to make it through. We're getting to the halfway point of this race now, and we know this is when the pit stops are going to be starting to come out. So as we follow this Lewis here, my whole game plan was just to stick to his bumper, not make some outrageous overtakes, as he will be coming in for a pit stop at any point. As we come around this corner here, you can see Lewis, the Joker himself, gets the black flag, gets the signal to make his way to the pits. Our job now is, as much as we can, as Lewis heads off into the pits, to get around this driver and setting some fast lap times so that we can get the overcut done and potentially overtake Lewis through a pit stop. As we come around this top bit here, tap the back of the driver and actually spin out the driver.
He's got a change in the yellow.
This was an absolute disaster for me, as it means we have to go half speed. And you can hear from my voice in this clip here how frustrated I am, because I essentially caused the yellow, giving Lewis a massive advantage. He pitted under yellows with me at half speed. Lewis essentially got himself a cheap pit stop. So his pit stop, he could take his time with. He didn't need to worry about it being too fast. But as we get around this driver here, we know that our pit stop is coming up, and we can't mess anything up. This pit stop needs to be the fastest pit stop I think I've ever done in my life, if I think we're going to be able to make up what we've just had happen there. So as I get the signal to head our way into the pits, all I am thinking about now is parking perfectly, getting out the car perfectly, running to that new one and getting it set up and ready to go as fast as possible. I come into the pits making sure I'm not going too fast to hit the marshal. I park up, hop up out the car, run over to the next one that he's pointing to, Ricky, our good friend here. We hop in the car, we sit down as fast as we can, we do our brake check, and off we go. And as we look to our right, there is Lewis just in front, and you can see we're sadly not stuck on his bumper, and we get a back marker sandwiched between us. It couldn't be much worse in this situation. Now, I'm not gonna lie, at this point in the race, I was absolutely fuming with myself. I'd let this happen by causing that yellow, and meaning that Lewis managed to get that good pit stop, but not all hope was lost. As you can see, Lewis in the Joker helmet there getting absolutely battered by the back markers there, allowing us to do this beautiful switchback on 2 drivers there, which puts us back on the bumper of Lewis. And with all these back markers causing him so many issues like we were having earlier, we actually were completely back on the bumper of Lewis. And it was at this point I think he realized I was back chasing him down. We had to slightly take it a bit wider than I would have liked, and nearly put us in the wall, that driver there. But as Lewis can see here, sadly we were managing to get an exit out of that 3rd hairpin much nicer, meaning we had that top end speed coming down that straight. But in the first sections of the track here, as you can see, Lewis was pulling away from me. The first 2 sectors Lewis had down to a T, and it was only that 3rd bit we were able to catch him. So if we could concentrate on the last 2 sections of the track, we may be able to capitalize on that and use it to our advantage to get an overtake done. Lewis sends it down the inside here, and it gets a bit bumpy here as the driver behind gets put into a wall, and it just didn't leave each other enough room. And we come down the inside and we're trying to catch up to Lewis, and we just don't quite have the optimal line here. So again, Lewis is pulling away from us in this middle sector here, but we know as we get to this bit here on the track, we do seem to gain a little bit of that gap, reducing it down. And with 19 laps still to go, there's a good chance we will be able to get past Lewis, and we will be able to claim that top step on the podium. Going into lap 32 now then, we're trying our best to close the gap. Our tires are a little bit warmer now, so hopefully these first 2 sectors will be able to catch. We take that first hairpin much nicer than Lewis there, which allows us to stay absolutely glued to his bumper. As we're coming down the middle sector here, you can see he pulls away ever so slightly, but as we come into our strongest sector, the 3rd one here, he's getting stuck by back markers, and maybe we can use it to our advantage to get around them. We're just going to follow Lewis here down the inside, and hopefully we can get around it. But he is going to claim that defensive line. He's going to stick to that inside as long as he can, and we're just going to copy him here, copy exactly everything he does, as then we know we can stay absolutely slammed to his bumper and wait for our opportunity to pounce. He sends it down the inside line here. There's just enough room for us to squeeze through as well. I double checking my shoulder that back marker wasn't going to send it on me and nearly take me out of the race, but we were lucky they did not. We come down the inside line here. We're still on Lewis's bumper, and we're now only got 15 laps left of this race. Can we get past him? As we come through the tunnel section here, Lewis does get a tap from the car in front, meaning we've got a better exit speed. I try and hang it around the outside, but we do have that back marker in the way. The back marker goes defensive and holds off Lewis, and Lewis manages to take the inside line on the 3rd hairpin, and we get a really good exit speed. So I try and go wide to cut back through and take the inside line here, but Lewis just defends it off and has the right to, as I wasn't alongside him there. Great defensive move from Lewis there in the Joker helmet. As we're coming out the middle sector here, we've got to get around these back markers. A few of them are letting us through now, so we start to say thank you. I think they've realized that we are a few laps ahead at this point, but not everyone's realized this. As this back marker sits there, I have the inside line. Using the back marker, I'm able to keep it, and we get past Lewis. And now, as long as we can get past this driver in green, we will be safe from Lewis. We'll have them in between us and Lewis, and they go wide, but sadly it's gone yellow, so Lewis is going to be on our bumper there, and Lewis gets a little bit ambitious of where he stops on that red.
Whoever that was not giving up on that corner then.
So as it goes back to yellow, Lewis rightfully lets us back out in front. With 8 laps to go now, we're back to green, we're racing, and we managed to get a good exit out of that 3rd hairpin, so we were good on this straight here. All we have to do now is do what Lewis was doing to us for the past few laps, keeping that defensive line, make sure he doesn't go for any sort of lunges, and make sure we can get past these back markers nice and cleanly. The laps were going by, and at this point I don't know how many laps are left. I know there's not many, so I try and keep my head down, I try and keep calm, but it was at this point, as I'm struggling to get past the back markers here, and you'll hear it in my voice, I start to go a little bit crazy.
Oh, I've never won a race here. Is it? Yeah, oh yeah, no, I'm on. Oh, God. Please, back marker, please. Fucking hell, not now. Let me through. Oh, yeah, oh, still. Long as it don't fuck up now. Come on. Oh. Yes! Thank you! Please tell me that's it! Tell me that's it! Come on! Let's go! Come on! Oh, thank you, Mark.
So finally, after 50 laps of some of the most intense concentration I've ever had to do in racing, we managed to come home with a victory at my home track. We came to park up. I'll have a quick chat with Lewis to see if hopefully he had as much fun as I just had in that last 50 laps.
I'm a lucky man.
I know.
Red, he was catching it like a second.
Oh, don't say that.
Mouth is so fucking dry.
Thank you to everyone that came down to race today, and thank you to you guys for watching these videos. You guys are absolute legends, and let us know down in the comments what track we should go and check out next. If you do enjoy these videos, make sure to like and subscribe, as only 20% of you guys are actually subscribed. And if you want to see more karting videos, make sure to click on the screen now.